I'll let that pass. Uh, uh,
Yes. Okay, I'm there. Yes, go on. What do you now? Yes.
I would probably say my favorite part really was the just hanging out with everyone in our youth group. Uh, like don't even like the teaching and the worship, like that was all cool and fun and encouraging. But really, the most encouraging part was just hanging out with everybody.
Brooke, what about you?
I think I really enjoyed some of my one-on-one conversations that I got to have with some of the kids, especially the ones riding in my car. And just seeing the students kind of lead out and taking some leadership roles throughout the weekend. I really enjoyed seeing that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We don't want to keep everybody on here too long tonight. We're just going to have a little bit of fun since we couldn't get together for church. So I reached out to our juniors and seniors, and I asked them for their top 10 advice for the new school year. So maybe to their underclassmen, freshmen, and sophomores, what advice would you give them for starting a new school year? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to list them off a la David Letterman. And I want you guys to give me thumbs up, that's good advice, or thumbs down, that's bad advice. Okay? You guys think you can handle that?
We got it.
All right. So number 10. So top 10 advice for the new school year. Number 10, don't make eye contact with anyone. Thumbs up or thumbs down? All right. So why is that bad advice?
It's going to be really hard to connect with anybody if you're not making eye contact with them.
Yeah.
I
think if you guys knew the student that told me that, you would say it again, Trey.
I was saying we got to be sociable, and that's not sociable. We got to work on our social skills a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda's hating on me because she says no one knows who David Letterman is. That's fine. People can look things up.
I
appreciate history.
I know who he is.
I was thinking that this was the Jay Leno thing, but I didn't realize it was David Letterman. So
no.
I don't know who Jay Leno is either.
Well, that's fine because we lean on Jimmy Fallon from time to time too. All right, number 9. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Grades won't matter in 10 years. Oh, okay. All right. So, Trey, you go first. Why will grades not matter in 10 years?
Because hopefully in 10 years, you'll have a job and that'll be in the rear view mirror. Grades matter in the sense that you need to do well enough to pass. I guess I would clarify like having a 4.0 won't matter in 10 years for most people. So, don't make grades don't make grades the end all be all.
Brooke, what do you think?
I will say, unless you were going to be valedictorian and you were banking on a scholarship for being valedictorian, those individual tests, they matter, but in 10 years, you're not going to really remember them, and they're not going to be as important as pretty much anything else. Like, in 10 years, high school in general isn't going to really matter.
Okay, fair enough. Number 8, do all your homework at school so you don't have to do it at home.
Is this doing at school the next day when it's due, or are you doing it at school before you go home?
Let's say the day before.
I mean, if you can do it, then yeah, it's good advice, but I don't know who's going to do that.
What do you think, Brooke?
I would say if you can get your homework done that's great, but you still need to bring home books to study because you're probably not getting a ton of studying done at school. So homework done at school, yes, but you probably need to come home to study. So,
Mama, you are so wise.
you know,
Number,
Mama Marcy.
number 7, don't walk slowly in the hallway or you'll get run over.
Yeah, I'll go thumbs up.
Okay. Number 6, don't do anything foolish because rumors fly fast.
Ooh.
Yeah. Of course, is that the reason why we shouldn't do anything foolish, though?
No, but it is a reason.
It'll count towards your reasons.
There we go. Number 5, don't procrastinate.
Uh,
I think as an adult, we are still learning that.
Hmm.
I'm terrible at procrastinating on laundry, so, you know, don't procrastinate in general.
Now you're stepping on my toes, Brooke. Number 4, don't vandalize the bathrooms. Solid advice, right?
yeah, I didn't know that needed to be given, but
My friend Matt, who led worship for us this past Wednesday, says he feels attacked. I'm assuming he's not talking about number 4, but number 5. I don't think that he was guilty of vandalizing any bathrooms, but
What was number 5? Was that when I said the laundry?
procrastinate. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Number 3, join a club or sport.
Mm.
Why,
Something.
why the hesitation, Brooke?
Well, you don't have to, but I do think it is helpful to join something to connect with other students. I wouldn't say that it necessarily has to be a sport, but something where you can connect with your peers.
Yeah. So I famously didn't do anything in high school. I didn't do band, I didn't do sports, and I intensely regret it. So I mostly just played,
Too many things.
I played Mario Kart.
That's what Derek's doing right now.
I'm gonna let you guys take over, and I'm gonna come over and play Mario Kart with Derek. So,
Him and Jake are in his room playing Mario Kart. Come join him.
yeah. Okay. Number 2, we're almost done. Number 2, get sleep. Don't pull all-nighters. Solid advice or bad advice? I gotta know. Did you guys pull all-nighters in high school?
You're talking to Mama Marcy. No. No, I'm the first one to sleep, always.
yeah, no, I didn't study enough to pull all-nighters, so, but I still didn't get as much sleep as I needed to.
Number 1, can I get a drum roll from one of you?
Go, Brooke, go. Go.
I don't know if this is good.
Number 1, don't get a pandemic your senior year.
Mm.
Yes. Let's give it up for our top 10 list. Golf clap. All right.
Danny's on the top 10.
So, okay. What I want to talk about for the next 15 minutes is Romans, right? So you guys are on standby to teach Fuse tonight if we were going to have church. So I wanted to give you guys a chance to talk a little bit about Romans. We're studying Romans 8 this fall, and I am so excited about it because Romans 8, I truly believe this. I'm not just saying this because I heard somebody else say it. I think Romans 8 is the greatest chapter in the Bible. It's filled with gospel truth. It's amazing. So what I wanted to do is talk a little bit with you guys about why Paul wrote Romans and kind of get y'all's thoughts about it. So let me take 2 minutes and kind of explain something to everybody. And I want you guys to tell me what stands out to you when you think about Romans. So Paul wrote Romans because he was going around, he was spreading the gospel. He's spreading the good news of Jesus. He was telling people who didn't know about Christ. He was telling them the good news that Jesus saves, right? So he's traveling around to all these places that had never heard the gospel, and he hears about the church in Rome. And the church in Rome was doing great. He was hearing great things, and he really wanted to come and visit them, to be with them. But he couldn't do it because he was so busy going around and planting new churches and sharing the gospel with people who'd never heard it before. So he goes to, he instead of going to Rome, he writes them a letter, and he says, I'm going to write you this letter because I want to impart some kind of a spiritual gift to you. I want to build you up and encourage you in the gospel. I want to help strengthen your faith. And even though I would love to be there myself, this letter is going to have to do. And I love what he says in chapter 1. I'm just flipping there real quick. I want to just read something to y'all, and then we'll talk about it. So he says in Romans 1, he says, I long to see you, that I may impart some spiritual gift to strengthen you. That is, we may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith. I don't want you to be unaware that I have tried to come to you in order that I may reap a harvest among you. I'm under obligation to both Greeks and to the barbarians, so Jews and Gentiles, right? To the wise, to the foolish. So I'm eager to preach the gospel to you in Rome. So he says, I'm eager to come to you and preach the gospel to you. And then he says in verse 16, what I think is the purpose statement for the whole book. He says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it's the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. So he says the gospel is the power of God. And what I always found so interesting is that Paul is telling Christians that he wants to preach the gospel to them. So obviously, people who aren't Christians need to hear the gospel, but even Christians need to hear the gospel, right? Because it's not just that we get saved and we get a hell-free card, right? But we need to be reminded of the gospel every day because it's the power of God for us to even live for him. Because the gospel confronts us with the truth that we can't do it. Even we can't save ourselves and we can't even sustain ourselves. We need the power of the gospel to help us do that. And so the entire letter is Paul explaining, unpacking, unfolding the gospel, the good news of Jesus to them. And it is full. And I think Romans 8 is kind of like the pinnacle of his letter. And so I know you guys have read Romans. You spent some time in Romans. I know that you guys understand how important it is to preach the gospel to yourself, how we need the gospel. So what stands out to you? Why are you excited about Romans? And what do you think that is going to be really big, important for our students to understand as we get ready to take this journey? Brooke, why don't you go first?
Well, let me just share that real quick. On Monday, I was talking to my grandfather, and we talked last weekend at DNL about being discipled, and one of the people in my life that disciples me is my grandfather. And I was telling Dane and Trey that it's pretty much whatever he wants to talk about. And Monday, he wanted to talk about Romans chapter 8. And he always says it's the most important chapter in the entire Bible. Like, it's the most important book, and it's the most important chapter in the entire Bible. And he gets so excited about it. Like, literally every word in Romans, he gets excited about, but specifically Romans chapter 8. So I was pretty pumped when Dane asked us to help with Romans chapter 8 this week, and if we met. But I think, going back to what Dane read a minute ago, in verse 16, where it says, to everyone who believes. And this is for everyone. This isn't just for believers. This isn't just for people who aren't believers. Everyone. Like, I think that should be underlined and exclamation pointed, that this is for everyone. Everyone needs to hear this good news. I think as Christians, we need to be reminded. As non-Christians, they need to hear it. So I think this is just a super, super important book of the Bible. And I think that Paul's heart really shows through in this book, that he wants to be with them so bad, but he's torn because he needs to go and preach to all these people who don't know, because he talks about the Gentiles and the non-Gentiles that he wants to preach to, but he's got to go and reach these unreached people first. But he still wanted to share with the church in Rome. So
yeah, that's amazing. I love that. That's your granddad's favorite book and chapter. That's like God's timing is perfect, right?
oh, yeah.
That's amazing. All right, Trey, what stands out to you, man?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like I just imagine being a part of the Church of Rome and like getting this letter, and like just how encouraging I guess that would be. That basically, you know, they've garnered the attention of Paul. Not to say, you know, obviously they weren't doing it to get recognition or anything, but that surely had to have been encouraging for them to receive a letter from him. But, you know, staying on the topic of, like, even as believers, we need to, like, preach the gospel to ourselves every day. I mean, that's the only hope and chance that we have to, like Dane said, is to live for him. Because we're going to sin every single day. Every single one of us are going to sin. And so if we don't preach the gospel to ourselves every day, we're going to get discouraged insanely fast. I know this week, Dane, you were going to stick to, I think, verse 1 and 2. But like in verse 3 of chapter 8, it says, "For God has done what the law, weakened by the flesh, could not do." And so that just kind of opens my eyes to the fact that, like, if we try to get, you know, or if we try to let our hope be on what we do in our everyday, it's not gonna do, like, we're not gonna live up to that. That's also gonna discourage us really fast. And so I think that's why it's so important to one, know and understand what the true gospel is, and to just constantly, all day, every day, be reminding yourself of that. And like you said, Dan, that's the only way that we're going to be able to live out them.
Yeah. So Trey, you and I were talking earlier today about this video clip that you and I really love from this. So this preacher, he's a Scottish preacher named Alistair Begg. And no, I'm not saying Alex Trebek, the late former host of Jeopardy. I'm saying Alistair Begg, B-E-G-G. He is this amazing preacher. He's Scottish, so he's got this really cool accent. But he was preaching a message about how salvation has nothing to do with what we have done, right, Trey? So I'm gonna like hold the phone up and show this video clip, ghetto style here. Trey, do you want to set it up? Is there anything that you want to say before I show this?
I mean, that's just it's one of those videos, the way he it, really eye-opening and to have, like you said, it's not anything that we do. It's purely 100% what Christ has done.
For sure. All right, let's watch this. Just 3 minutes. Let's just watch this real quick. Oh, hang on. I got music playing in the background. All right. Let's try this again.
Without the preaching of the cross, without preaching the cross to ourselves all day and every day, we will very, very quickly revert to faith plus works as the ground of our salvation. So that, to go to the old Fort Lauderdale question, if you were to die tonight and you were getting entry into heaven, what would you say? If you answer that, and if I answer it in the first person, we've immediately gone wrong. Because I believed, because I have faith, because I am this, because I am continuing. Loved ones, the only proper answer is in the third person, because he because think about the thief on the cross. What an immense, I can't wait to find that fellow one day to ask him, how did that shake out for you? Because you were cussing the guy out with your friend. You'd never been in a Bible study. You never got baptized. You didn't know a thing about church membership, and yet you made it. How did you make it? That's what the angel must have said. You know, like, what are you doing here? Well, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, because I don't know. Well, you know, excuse me, let me get my supervisor. They go get the supervisor, Ranger. So, wait, just a few questions for you. First of all, are you clear on the doctrine of justification by faith? The guy said, I never heard of it in my life. And what about, let's just go to the doctrine of Scripture immediately. This guy's just staring. And eventually, in frustration, he says, on what basis are you here? And he said, the man on the middle cross said, I can come. Now, that is the only answer. That is the only answer. And if I don't preach the gospel to myself all day and every day, then I will find myself beginning to trust myself, trust my experience, which is part of my fallenness as a man. If I take my eyes off the cross, I can then give only lip service to its efficacy, while at the same time living as if my salvation depends upon me. And as soon as you go there, it will lead you either to abject despair or a horrible kind of arrogance. And it is only the cross of Christ that deals both with the dreadful depths of despair and the pretentious arrogance of the pride of man that says, you know, I can figure this out and I'm doing wonderfully well. No, because the sinless Savior died, my sinful soul is counted free, for God the just is satisfied to look on him and pardon me. That's why Luther says most of your Christian life is outside of you, in this sense that we know that we're not saved by.
Man. So yeah, that's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So strong, like so good. The man in the middle cross said I could come. That's why, you know, it's not based on anything. I check, all the boxes aren't checked right. It's not because I'm smart enough because I figured it out. It's not because I passed a test when I got here. It's because Jesus said I could come here. And that we have to remind ourselves that every single day, that, oh my goodness, I am sunk without Christ. And so that's what Romans 8 is about. That's what Romans 8 is about. Romans 8 is about how we live the Christian life. How can we do this without Christ? We can't. We need him. So any final thoughts? We got 1 minute before we got to jump off of here.
So he talked about in that video a little bit about justification. And I'm going to quote John Piper real quick. Justification is an act of God, not man. It's a divine decision to acquit the guilty, to give all the benefits of the children of God to us who deserve hell. And that's not encouraging. I don't know what is, but we all deserve hell, but yet justification is an act of God. He's going to give us that, not for anything that we did to deserve it, but because of what Jesus did.
Trey, I'm not even going to let you say anything. That's enough for us. I'm just kidding. Trey, do you got anything you want to add?
No, I think you guys pretty much covered it. I guess all I'll say is, like, looking forward to 2 weeks getting together. I know everyone was kind of bummed out that we had to postpone, but it was probably the right decision. And so just pray and hope that everyone who is sick is feeling better soon, and that we can get back to gathering together.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a couple of encouragements, I think, from me. Number one, let's ride this out. We're flexible. We've been down this road before. So if we can't get together even in 2 weeks for some weird reason, stay in touch with each other. Text and call your friends. Stay in community. Text your leaders. Reach out. Let them know how you're doing. Ask people how you can pray for them. Stay in community. You're going to see people at school probably, so keep in touch with people. Number two, if it's safe for you to come and it's good for you to come, then commit to being at church, because we need each other. We need each other desperately. And so we'll start back 2 weeks from tonight. Wednesday night, we'll start with Romans 8:1 and 2. We're going to, for the high school, the attic is going to be completely renovated. So, Brooke, you guys are going to have to come see it before you head up to the Fusion Room, because it's going to be amazing. Got some cool plans for that. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, Trey, Brooke, thank you guys so much for giving me a few minutes of your time tonight. I love you guys. I love all you students and leaders who are watching. And let us know if you need anything. We'll see you soon. Everybody say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, love y'all.
Bye, Mama.
Go get in bed. It's my bedtime.
Hey, listen, one thing I'll tell you is out of the corner of my eye, every time I see that mirror above your head, I think it's a towel that's wrapped your hair, which is the most Brooke thing ever. Like, for you to come to the Instagram Live with your hair up in a towel would have been.
Mama Marcy did not come with a towel around my head. But hey, come here. Come here, Derek. But Derek,
medicine, go to bed.
but Derek does have on a ducktail shirt. I just need to show y'all this.
I love my ducktail shirt. Don't judge me. Sorry, I looked it up. It was my favorite show growing up.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
That's amazing. Hang on, I'm trying to find the DuckTales theme to bump us out here.
Yes, please.
It is. Oh, my computer.
I ain't dancing.
Yes, you have to dance to it. You have to do your pop all day.
I know. Lord, no, bro.
I feel like I'm limited in how I can dance.
I don't do it to me. It was a great cartoon.